Hey everybody, I hope you're having a good weekend or a good week, depending on when it is. I'm kind of taking it easy right now. I've been working on replacement for my main computer. I've got have a used computer that's been sitting here for a while, and I've been just doing some upgrades on it so that it can run Windows 7 a little better. It could have run it without the upgrades, but I wanted to do some upgrading to it before I started using it. I haven't bought a new computer in a long time. I get these used ones for really cheap or free that are really still pretty good computers and only need a few minor upgrades to be just about as good as anything new would be. So that's what I've been doing today, and just kind of taking it easy now. I got most of that. Actually, that's done, other than maybe a few more bits of software have to be loaded up. I'm a little stuffed up and coughing a lot because of allergies, so bear with me on that. The last few years, my allergies have seemed to be worse than they had been for quite a while. But I don't get the sneezy stuff as much as it just bothers my throat. It's almost like having the kind of cough you'd have after you had a cold or something. But I haven't been sick. It's just from allergies. So I got a cough drop in my mouth. I'm trying to keep myself from having a big coughing fit when I'm trying to do this. This is actually about the 10th time I've started this because I kept coughing. Anyway, the reason I was making the video is because last week I took Dalton over to Adventureland, and I didn't shoot a lot of video there this year because not much has changed since 2009. The major thing they've been working on is expanding their water park area. They had kind of it was more of a play area water feature thing, not a full-blown water park the last couple of years. But this year they're adding some slides and I think a wave pool. I'm not sure. It's not done yet. It won't be open until June. I'm not a big water park person. We may go over there just because he's been wanting to go to a water park, but I frankly could care less if we go to one or not. So if I go, it'll be because of him. The other big thing that's changed is not something they wanted to change, but something that happened because they had a snow collapse the roof on one of their complexes on the main street, and after the roof collapsed there was a fire and half the main street burnt down. Now that may sound a little strange for anybody who's never been there before, but the way it's much like Disneyland or Disney World, or if you've ever been to either one of those anywhere around the world, they're all about the same. The main street basically is built up at Adventureland of 4 buildings, but the way they've done the facades on the outside of the buildings is to have them decorated like individual stores or shops. So walking down the main street, it gives you the feel of walking in a small town main street with various individual buildings. But it's really just 4 larger buildings decorated up to look like individual buildings from the outside. So early this spring, we had a lot of snow this year, probably more than we've had in, gosh, I don't know how many years. And anyway, they had a roof collapse, and then after the roof collapsed on this east side of the main street, there was a fire, burnt the whole complex down. And they're going to rebuild it, but they haven't really started doing that yet. Pardon the sniffling. About all they've been able to do is clean up the mess. So I just shot a little video of that. Thought it might be slightly interesting to anybody who has watched the other Adventureland videos I've done. So I wanted to put that up, but I thought it'd be good to do a little introduction with it. 1, because it's so short, and 2, because if you didn't know what happened, you wouldn't understand why I was shooting video of a vacant lot. So that's the introduction, and I'm going to put the clip in now. Probably for like where they work or something. Oh, it's a family thing. Now where do you want to go?
I'll show you where the little mini dolphin thing is.
Okay.
If you join the large, then you get a large prize. If you go for the small, you get
Ah, the whole main street's gone. It all burned down. So that's what it looks like after they cleaned it all up. It's just an empty lot now. And the funny thing about having that gone, aside from the fact that we've been going down there for, good 30 years or more. And that was one of the first things they built. So it's really strange having it gone from that perspective. And also, it made everything seem smaller to me. That was the sense I got being in that park this year that I think's been different than any other time I've been there. Is it was almost like it closed everything in rather than opening it up, because you used to have to walk around that area to get to a lot of things. And the act of having to walk around and having that building there as a way to divide up areas of the park made the park seem larger than it does now, which is really the opposite of what I would have thought. I would have thought more wide open, it would have felt bigger, but it actually feels smaller, so it's kind of funny. It's going to be nice having it back, and I hope when they build it back, it gives them an excuse to do some fixing up around the rest of Main Street as well. I've noticed the last few years when I've been down there that there's a lot of it that could use some cleaning up, some general repair and things like that. Maybe it's been a little neglected in some spots as they focused on other things. So this might give them a chance to spruce everything up a little bit more, in addition to having a whole new section there. I don't know if they intend to build it back the way it was, or using the same plan, or if they're going to do something different. So that'll be interesting to see how that comes along. After we were at the park, we went and had dinner with my parents and Aunt Marlene, Uncle Clyde, Aunt Patty, our cousin Jody, who just announced that she's getting married, which was no big surprise, and her fiance now, Eric, who has been to a lot of family functions recently. That's why it was no big surprise that she's getting married. And Dalton and I went and met them, and we had dinner for Aunt Marlene's birthday, which was last week. So that was it. That was last weekend. I didn't take any video of my family. I'm not as mean as my brother.